Metaverse. Well, Metaverse explained. All right. I've been doing some videos on crypto and guiding us through it. But the big word that everyone in Web3 is talking about is right now, you guessed it, Metaverse. But before we dive into it, I want to welcome you. You have come to a safe space where we learn together. So let's dive into it. What is the Metaverse? Good question. The term was first coined in 1992 in a science fiction novel called Snow Crash. And since then, the term has really come to apply virtual avatars who are interacting with each other in the digital world. Yes. Now, a lot of the times we think about that as 3D. We think about it as virtual reality. We think about basically a virtual reality where you can do anything that you would do in the real world, right? Okay, well, what the term has really become well, it's really become this kind of aspirational term for talking about the future digital world. And I will venture to say that probably half the companies that throw around the term metaverse might not even be sure what it is. It's crazy, I know, but they know that if they say they are a metaverse company, they are going to sound cool and innovative and tech forward. Plus, they might be able to raise money more easily from venture capitalists. Great. Here we go. So everyone's a metaverse company right now. But what does it really mean? Okay, it means, or let me start differently. We talk about things kind of notion about these virtual 3D avatars that are existing in a digital space. Some people talk about 3D, some people talk about holograms, but there are some forms of the metaverse that already exist in a pretty robust way. Like, for example, okay, let me tell you a few examples. Roblox, or a lot of people play Fortnite or Minecraft. These are all really good examples of really built out metaverse worlds that people exist in. They interact with each other. They interact with people, with avatars. They buy digital goods and assets. It's crazy, but it's happening. So there are a lot of definitions out there cycling of what the metaverse is, and that makes it both exciting but challenging as well. So what you're watching today, let's call it part one of our metaverse series, because there's a lot to go into in the metaverse. There's so much to cover. Like there's what's the basics understanding. There's what's businesses and economic related opportunities in the metaverse. There's well, when is the metaverse arriving? What needs to happen to get us there? Then you know what are some of the future trends, things that we should be thinking about. So there's quite a lot to cover. So the fact that there are so many definitions of what the metaverse even is, well, I think is what makes it both so exciting and so challenging at the same time. It's so exciting to be on the ground floor of something. Just the energy and the momentum, the enthusiasm, well, you know what I mean, that I'm seeing around Web3, crypto and metaverse. It is crazy and so good. I haven't seen it in over a decade. And so it's really exciting to get to be on the ground floor of something. So there's huge excitement, but it also makes it challenging because there's quite frankly a lot of chaos happening, as you might guess. So there's a lot of definitions. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are trying to build skyscrapers when we don't even know or don't even have pipes and foundations yet for anything, you know? And so you have to kind of like a little bit of chaos to get into the scene right now. It's just facts. But one entrepreneur summed it up so well for me last week. They said, here, listen up. They said, when you have the chance to be there at the start of the internet, why would you do anything else? That's a really good question. And that really resonated with me because there are so few chances that you get as an entrepreneur to kind of be at the start of a new industry. That is amazing. It's chaos, but it's amazing. But it's also super challenging because there are so many definitions of the metaverse. There's no interoperability interoperability between them, which means that if you spend a lot of time and energy and money inside one metaverse, it's stuck there. You can't take things that you've bought or the identity you created and, well, bring it to another metaverse. It's not going to happen. I mean, you wouldn't walk around with 30 different phones and have completely different phones for each person who want to call you, right? I mean, just like none of us want to be in 30 different metaverses. So that is something that's definitely going to be filled, to be thought out, you know. It reminds me of the early days of text messaging. If you remember those, do you remember those? There was a time back in the Stone Age where you could only text people who were on the same network. It's crazy. So like, if I had a mobile and my best friend had a different mobile or network, we just could not text one another. So that was really, really difficult. And what's the point of texting then? Because then you had to ask someone, okay, are we both on the same network? Okay, then we can be like texting buddies, you know? It was so useless at the beginning, but everyone wanted to be on it. And well, that's sort of how we have to think about the metaverse. Absolutely. Text messaging didn't become mainstream until you could message like people across other providers, other networks and operators. So, and that is the metaverse. Metaverse is going to have to get there as well. So you might be watching this and thinking, like I'm a total newbie. I don't know anything about the metaverse and I never participated in it and I might never will, you know, well, I'm going to call your bluff on that one. Because honestly, we have all been getting primed to participate in the metaverse over the past few years without knowing it. We have, for example, let me tell you, for example, if you have ever bought an URL online, congratulations. If you have ever cared about digital real estate, you have cared about how you or your identity and what you look like to other people in the digital arena. Have you cared about where you have sent people to interact with you? Right? It's all happening. If you have ever tried to get a certain screen handle on social media or anything like that, congratulations. You have participated in the metaverse. We don't think about it. I mean, you have cared about how you are represented online, you know? So you know, I mean, I get women all the time, especially who tell me that they don't understand what they've actually done a lot more with digital assets and caring about their digital environment and their appearance a lot more than they even think that they have. So you're already interacting. There's, you know, it's my opinion that Apple has actually primed us pretty well to learn about the metaverse because we have this hardware and then we have this layer of app stores that's over it. And Apple, quite frankly, has trained all of us that we carry around all these hardware devices and we have these kind of layers of finances and games and weather apps and content over our daily life that exists on this hardware. The last 18 months have primed us for the metaverse. The fact that all of our lives have gone remote and hybrid. We have worked in virtual worlds with people, with our co-workers. I mean, we gone to school virtually. How cool is that? I mean, we've been seeing doctors virtually. We are getting more and more used to having real world interactions in a virtual setting. And so that is priming us for the metaverse. It's just like that. And if you're coming to this as a beginner, you already know more than you think you know. And in the next few videos, we are actually going to get a little bit more into it, step by step. Now that we have Metaverse 101 set, what can we actually do with it? What does it mean? What kind of business or can we build on the metaverse? Why should we care? And what should we be focusing on right now? All these questions. they are all good questions that we will cover in the coming videos. So just make sure that you subscribe to my channel, ring that bell so you don't miss any of my coming videos, and I will see you in the real life or in the metaverse. Love you guys, have an awesome day, and see you in the next video.